Learning to love art. Art mysteries.
Art historians have to ask many important questions to understand works of art. Where does this work of art come from? Why was it made? What is it supposed to represent? Can I see this work in person? While modern dating technologies and understanding of historical context can be helpful, there are times when some important questions remain. Many pieces of art from very long ago have mysterious origins, and sometimes world events cause important treasures to go missing. Today, we are going to look at some specific pieces of art that fall into these categories. One word of warning before we start. Some of the images we will look at today are of poor resolution, since the last photographs taken of them were very long ago. One famous piece of art that has sadly gone missing because of frightening world events is the painting Portrait of a Young Man, which was made by the Italian Renaissance artist Raphael in the early 16th century. Even from this very old photograph, it is clear that this painting is very realistic and detailed. Portrait of a Young Man is a particularly special work of art, since many believe it is supposed to be a self-portrait of this remarkable artist. Up until World War II, this piece of art proudly hung in the Czartoryski Museum in Poland. But in 1939, Poland was invaded by the Nazis and the painting was stolen. During World War II, the Nazis stole many pieces of artwork, not only from museums but from families with private collections, and kept them hidden with the intention of using them for their own purposes after they had achieved their desired world order. Allied forces were able to successfully locate and rescue many of the paintings the Nazis appropriated. Sadly, some artworks were never found and were possibly destroyed. Portrait of a Young Man by Raphael remains among the missing pieces of art. Another major historical event which brought about the disappearance of many pieces of art was the Russian Revolution of 1917. Some of the most famous pieces of art that disappeared were created by the House of Fabergé. The House of Fabergé was a well-to-do jewelry company in Russia that is still in business today. Russian Tsars Alexander III and Nicholas II were clients of the House of Fabergé and gave many of the beautifully decorated jewel eggs they purchased to members of their family. All this would come to an end when the Romanovs were overthrown in 1917. The Bolshevik forces who took over Russia took possession of the royal family's jewels, including their beloved Fabergé eggs. Many of them were taken to the Kremlin by the Bolsheviks. While some of them were sold to support the new communist state, many others disappeared, never to be seen or heard of again. The photo you can see now is one such missing egg. It was originally a gift given to Maria Fyodorovna, mother of Nicholas II, in 1909. It was meant to honor the memory of her husband, Alexander III, who had died 15 years previously. This delicate and glittering egg certainly looks like it would be fit for royalty. Like Portrait of a Young Man, this beautiful treasure may be gone forever. Some pieces of art that are in museums today leave art historians with many questions as well. This Kong is such a one. Art historians believe that it was created by artists from the Yangzhou culture of China, 2,000 to 3,000 years BCE. The jade surface of this object is very intricately carved. A piece of jade like this must have taken a great deal of effort to carve, and would surely have been very valuable. Such beautiful Kongs have been found at or near many prehistoric burial sites in China. No one knows exactly what these objects were for, though. Why would people in ancient China have wanted to be buried with these objects close by? We can make educated guesses. Perhaps such objects were considered important for the afterlife. Even so, we will probably never know for sure. You can see this specific Kong at the Art Institute, Chicago. Other pieces of art from history have left us baffled about their function and origin. For example, colossal heads from the Mesoamerican Olmec culture have left art historians with many unanswered questions. The head in this photo was found at the archaeological site in La Venta in Mexico, and it was probably made between 800 and 400 BCE. Like so many of the colossal heads that the Olmecs created, this one has eyes that are very close together and a flat nose. It would have been very difficult to move since it is so heavy. Many art historians believe that it probably represented a ruler, but it is impossible to know definitively why it was made and why it was taken to La Venta, which is where it remains to this day. Art historians often find themselves struggling to answer difficult questions about the pieces of art they find. These questions often center around the origins and purpose of the work. Major world events make their jobs even more difficult when they result in pieces of art going missing. It seems likely, though, that as the study of art history develops, more and more of these questions will be answered.